In accordance with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, this channel is not intended to be viewed by children under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everybody, Dragon King Mark here, and welcome to part 22 of Let's Play Ash of God's Redemption. Last we left off, well, a lot happened, so I'll give you the gist. Well, we lost Rosk, but Hopper has made it to Opicum. Now he's basically trying to figure out the last bit of the curse, while also figuring out what to do while in the city. Thorn managed to reach the Watermen here, but also met Mabuk, who is actually Korba, who is actually Druket in Mabuk's body, and learned a bit more about what was going on, as well as meeting with a Trock, aka Nakoma, and ended up, well, barely managing to get out of there in time. There was apparently a event where if you actually were not careful, you could have lost Mac, but thankfully we managed not to do that, and now he's on his way to Opicum. Now Lo Fang here is also on his way to, just reached Opicum. So let's go ahead and get this over with. Also, I apologize for not being able to stream last week or yesterday. Last week I thought my dad was going to put the floorboards in his room. That did not work. Also, yesterday I was having internet issues, so there's that. Thankfully today should be a bit better. Now, the long journey is coming to an end. You hear armor clanging and wheel axles squeaking. The Frisian legions are on the move. Opicum lies before you, the dead men here sticking out like a rotten tooth between its towering bastions. The great ancestress can barely hold body and soul together. As the fortress draws closer, she seems like the condemned approaching the scaffold. She's about to collapse. She then notices your eyes upon her. Keep going, Icon. We're almost there. Don't worry about me. I'm weak, but I'm still standing. This magic I sense. It doesn't originate from Opicum, but from the reaping itself. It cannot get in, so it surrounded the fortress like an invisible rampart. Let's try to support her. Amma sneers. This burden isn't meant for your shoulders, Icon. Even a warrior of peace can carry this weight. I'll manage. Keep an eye on the road. You turn to hear the sound of hooves approaching. A band of Brakan soldiers rounds the bend. They're obviously being pursued. You turn to meet the pursuers and see several Gels hiding in the forest. There's also a Brakan noble kneeling in the dust beside a fallen warrior. This is your ticket to Opicum. Okay. Sorry if it's been a long time since I've actually played this game, but it has been a long time since I've actually played this game. Okay. Nope. You're back in. Let's level everyone up. I think everyone can use a nice level. Alright, let's see. Let's go with Melting Tar. Upgrade healer. Let's grab concentration. That should be it. And yeah, that is it. So, what the heck have I been doing since it's been like nearly 2 weeks? Well, I bought a lot of games. Republic Commando, Rayman 2 The Great Escape on the PlayStation 1, Rayman 2 Revolution, the Prince of Persia Epilogue DLC. I even bought Lords of the Fallen Complete Edition and Oddworld New and Tasty. So there's that to consider. Will I stream Oddworld? Maybe? I don't know. But, I don't know. I mean, if you guys want me to stream it, I'll do it. That's your choice. I wish more people would show up on my streams more often. But yeah, like, Oddworld. Soulstorm, gotta admit, looks like a very good game. Definitely would recommend. I mean, I would recommend it if you're a fan of classic. It's a bit of a reimagining of the sequel, more like what they want to make the sequel into, and I gotta admit, they definitely improved on it. From what I had to see with the original compared to Soulstorm, it's definitely a lot different. Though I don't know if we're gonna get a Munch's Odyssey remake. It would be nice though to see. But Rayman 2 and Rayman Revolution, like, why did I get those? Well, those are classics in and of themselves. No way I passed those up. I mean, I have the original Rayman on Rayman 2 on the PlayStation 1, but the disc is a bit scratched up. And then I had to, reconnect the whole thing, and I don't know what to do with that, and I don't know exactly where would I put it. But other than that, like, it's still a fun game to definitely try out sometime. Good thing Reed's got that defenses. Game. Okay. So yeah, Republic Commando, still a great game to try out. You definitely should try it when you can. Also, it's like a fun Star Wars shooter. It's like it's short, but it's still sweet. I definitely would recommend getting it sometime. But I'm excited for Horizon Zero Dawn on Tuesday for free. Good. Kama saved Reed. Ironic. He takes back his death. You hold back the Gels, giving the Bakrana detachment enough time to reach the safety of the fortress. Ama's unhurt, but looks like she may faint. After attending to her, you turn your attention to the two remaining Burkans. One of them has been struck down by an arrow. The other, dressed like an aristocrat, is beside himself with grief. Reed rushes to the wounded man before you can ask. She kneels beside him and then waves you reassuringly. He's alive! He's bleeding, but not much. No need to worry. The Gels got it much worse. I'll help him. Oh, Headerleg! The aristocrat gets to his feet, wipes his face with a handkerchief. Gods be praised. This man is Lon, my faithful guard commander for many years. I'm Headerleg, Prince of Asana, and I'm exceptionally grateful for your help. You tell the prince nothing, and Reed tries to smooth over the awkwardness with a low bow. Your Highness, we mean no disrespect. Our leader is from the Shadow Clan. Warriors like him are very reserved. I have to be surprised if he says a single word. I'll show respect. Headerleg gestures apologetically. Well, you're the first icon I've ever seen. I just have one question. How can I repay your kindness? Reed looks at you, then Headerleg. Your Highness, we need to get to Opicum. We're escorting a woman, a healer. She's heading to the dead men here. Headerleg eyes you suspiciously, then nods. You don't need to enter the fortress to touch the dead men here, but I'll see to your request. You fought well, and I owe you. Well, Lo Fang's officially entered Opicum now. The wounded warrior soldier stirs. Reed smiles triumphantly, and Prince Headerleg sighs in relief. Your expression remains impassive, bequeathing his curiosity. This skirmish confirms that all the rumors of the icons are true. Had your island been a bit larger, you could have subjugated all of Terminum. Do you have a question? You have at least until my guard realizes I'm missing. You're in for a hurricane. Is Opicum the only safe place? Opicum has never fallen into enemy hands. They also say the reaping has less power over it. Opicum isn't some hole in the ground, though. It's a fortress, and the enemy will die in the shadow of its walls. Should a warrior flee from the enemy? A ruler is the heart of his kingdom. A king without an army is like a swordsman without armor. There's no shame in fleeing to protect what's most important. What is Berkana going to do about it? Berkana will go to war, but we're trying to stop the enemy forces before they reach our lands. Opicum is our outpost in Gabonan territory. I have no further questions. I have a question for you then. You hear there must be knowledgeable and renowned to warn an icon bodyguard. Can you Could you speed up my core commander's recovery? I'll ask her about it. As soon as she can speak, Your Highness. She's indeed knowledgeable, but she's exhausted from traveling. Your man is only lightly wounded, will recover soon enough. Oh, and your guards are finally looking for you. The stupid fools are late. But they'll have a chance to cleanse their shame with blood, fighting on the walls of Opicum. Follow me. The Phrygian forces approach, and I don't want to encounter them outside the walls.
A pearl grows to protect the oyster from dirt. Doesn't the dream of freedom do the same thing in the soul of a slave?
Like my title of this episode says, all the pieces are falling into place. The men here. Ake and Karanzan. We finally made it to Hopper. Curse power is 91, and Ake, and we're finally here. The giant warrior feels right at home here in a fortress about to be besieged. He can help you navigate the chaos. You find Ake conversing with some vandal. He waves a hand as he sees you. Look who's here. It's Patagang, the merchant. He was in Albius when the reaping began. He's now an advisor to Stackhead Vici. Can you imagine? Rask put in a good word for him. I was just telling Patagang how we met that little fellow and then parted ways. You have to restrain yourself from wincing. Ake doesn't need to know what happened to Rask. Meanwhile, Patagang is looking at you as if he's reading your mind. You nod to him and try to ask something, but Ake interrupts. The big fellow laughs and taps the vandal on the shoulder. Patagang's gonna arrange our stay and dinner so we won't have to huddle in the barracks. Well, King Triggs will arrive shortly. I have to deal with some urgent matters. Patagang follows Ake with his eyes, then turns to you. It is no accident that we meet here, my dear book lover. I can see the questions swarming in your head. Ask away. You look at the vandal warrior turned to merchant and see a man who has lost his loved ones. He's also a man gifted with second sight. There must have been shamans in his bloodline. Man, we are learning a lot about this guy. You look at me more intensely than damsels used to look at the silks on my stall. Come, ask away, for I have a lot on my plate. The ask is nowhere to be found, and I'm busy as a bee. Did you flee Albius because of the reaping? You cannot escape the reaping. What unnerved me were the people. Or were they even people? Some wearing monster skin. Others are cardinals' robes. Still others wear regular clothing, just as you do. You can see these things? Do you have shaman ancestors? You saw the Reaper then? But you ran away from the Cardinal, not from the Reaper? Why are you not running away from me? I have nothing to the Reaper. He can have us all in one go. The Cardinal, on the other hand, had a personal interest in me. You see, he needed eyewitness accounts of the event in Obvious. I'm glad it's not me he's come here for. As for your trouble, you can bring it onto yourself. Did you see anything out of the ordinary in Obvious? I've seen sorcery of all kinds. It's like a blinding light to me. First, a young woman came to Albius. I swore I've never seen a finer lass in my entire life. After that, it seemed to me that the sky went dark with storm clouds. It was then that the Reaper appeared. Finally, when the bell began to peal, the darkness started to dissipate. What can you tell me about Thorn Brennan, or his daughter? Are they sorcerers too? How did they resist the Reaper? That I cannot say. You can spend all your life cracking nuts, yet to break a tooth on just one. Or so they say. The Brennans are tough to crack. There's something special about them, but I cannot say what, my friend. Sorry if I'm giving him a bit of a stereotypical Indian accent. I forgot what voice I gave to him. And it's been forever. So, just bear with me. Also, I apologize again. Why did you say to stay in Opicum? It's easier to breathe here. The plague I narrowly escaped in Obvious seemed to be less potent. Even then, the Cardinal here is different. I'm nevertheless afraid these blessings won't last. Why's that? And why are you here if they will not last? I see everything, but I cannot explain it all. The darkness thickens. Soon it will engulf Opicum. What lies at its heart is not my concern. I just know that there is nowhere else to run. Everything will be decided here. I can feel it. And that's it for questions, but there's something I want to tell you. I got some bad news for you, Patagang. Your friend Rask lost his life, lost completely and irrevocably. It happened several days ago. I have no desire to speak of it, but you should abandon any hope of ever seeing him again. I knew that the Rask had perished the moment it happened. I sensed it in you. I'm no sorcerer, of course, I just feel it. I won't put it on, I promise. No need to draw attention. You see and feel everything. You ran away from the Cardinal, but stayed put when he came to Opicum. You saw trouble in Rask, yet Rask is no more. You saw trouble in me, and I still live. Are you a sorcerer by any chance? Sorcerer. I went for a stroll around the fortress line. Perhaps it was meant for your eyes. That's unlikely. I had shaman ancestors, but I'm not one myself. I should get going now. Those encryptic words have been getting on my nerves as of late. Get on my level, Hopper. Let's go talk to Karanzan. Or do we go to the men here? Men here? Karanzan? Let me do a quick little check. You know, for some reason, I can't seem to find out why my Gmail is not, getting sending notifications to my phone. That's the thing I don't get. There was 8. Okay. I won't check my phone. Dang. My internet quality just dropped. Plus, literally the phone router on my phone just dropped crashed a few days ago. Let's check out the men here. From the outside, the fortress looked frozen in frightened expectation, but inside it's abuzz with life. Hundreds, even thousands of soldiers scurry to and fro. Arrows and stones are being hauled onto the walls. Kindling is piled under huge cauldrons filled with slabs of tar. Horses neigh nervously. A baby is crying. Clean undergarments are being hung to dry. If death is nigh, you might as well wear clean clothes. A short distance from the gate, you see the mysterious rock jutting out from the ground like a black fang. You've been to Opicum many times, and every time you stood here, admiring the ominous, lifeless men here in the white ruins smashed and pushed into the ground beneath it, over the centuries, the menhir has become part of the wall. All the white boulders have practically disappeared. The fact that you can see is a single cracked lintel, which used to rest on a row of columns. What is so special about this menhir, except that it destroyed an ancient chapel from which it rose? It's a millennium-old mystery, an everlasting one. People seem to avoid it without even thinking. There's a ring of emptiness around the rock, even in the crowded, thronged square. You stop at a distance, as if you yourself were afraid. Someone stands behind you, not too close, not too far either. Only for a moment you believe that it's Amma, you're lost in a strange love. Listen carefully, you realize it's someone different. Yet someone else, familiar yet different. She's come to speak with you, and it's not a conversation you can avoid. You turn to face a tall, blonde woman. The way she looks at you suggests that she already knows everything you tell her. The resemblance to Amma is striking, save for lacking the thickness of her hair. Philia. My name is Philia. I've been waiting for you. Mother told me you would surely come. I wouldn't have. But your mother drove me here with promises, riddles, and cunning. She even cursed me. Who's your mother? Just who is your mother, anyway? I can only tell you what I know myself. My mother, I call her Chila. Unda used to those who have never met her. Believe me, if she had laid a burden on anyone, she would have shouldered twice as much herself. This is the least of my concerns at the moment. Tell me, can I get rid of this curse in Opicum or not? Why not draw your sword and ask me whether you could win a duel? How am I to know? I'm no fencing expert. I know not your opponent, nor, in fact, do I know you. Do not ask me about the matters you yourself are supposed to ascertain. This is not the reason I'm here. Why are you here? Where are my secret words? Are they on the men here? There's nothing. Where's the stone I'm supposed to read? You've come to the right place, Blanc, but you're looking the wrong way. The words you need are in the white stone, which is much more ancient than the men here crushing it. Come closer and you'll see. I've studied the ruins of the ancient chapel 1,000 times, and I've never seen a single word inscribed on them. What could have done it? The Opicum guards keep a close watch on the men here, even though it's been dead for 1,000 years. Looking at the stone. Yes, I see an inscription. It wasn't there before. Because you carry misfortune within you. Because you carry misfortune within you. Look dumbfounded. Is there anything else written on the stone? Take into yourself that which you can take, for there is no one else to take it. And if you do not burn out, carry it. And with every step your burden shall become greater, for you carry it for many, and their number increases still. You will save yourself by saving others, but you will not keep misfortune away, because you carry misfortune within you. Every phrase is etched here except for the 7th. Does that mean I didn't have to go chasing all those fragments? I could have just read them here? There is much more to it than meets the eye. Everything comes with a price. Some words are akin to stones. Were they all fall upon you at once, you'd be crushed beneath their weight. Where's the 7th stone, then? It all started with these instructions. Follow the guiding one, collect the 7 parts of wisdom, read this and be saved. Where's the 7th fragment? I'm an Opicum. There's nowhere else to go. My hand is black and my heart is racked with pain. My message is this. You will find the last words in the very end, or else on the dearest one. Don't ask me to interpret it. I myself don't know what it means. Think. That's it? What am I supposed to do with this message? How can I save myself? I have nothing else to say. You can have your book back. Mother sent it with apologies for borrowing it. Great power is held within, though not in the paper nor the binding. Damnation. Quite the family you've got. If everything gets sorted out, my arm, the reaping, the war, this accursed spell, your mother had better stay out of my sight. It will not just sort itself out, Block. We'll talk to this later. I think we got all the pieces now. We just need to get the last one. Now let's go talk to Karanzan. Hello, you're called Hopper now, right? Why are you in here while Thornbrennan and his daughter are not? Where are they? I followed him to Freaka and looked for his trail on the roads leading to Opicum. I must have outpaced him, but I expect him to arrive by the end of the day. Or any accidents. I hope you're not mistaken. It is true that Thorn was pardoned. Unless he's done something insane since then, there will be a place for him on the walls of Opicum. Tell me, why are you still in Opicum? The Frisians are approaching. It's not like you to stay in a besieged fortress. Don't make excuses. I know that you consider bravery foolish. Do I look like someone who makes excuses? He who comes on time does not rush. How can I leave Opicum without presenting my compliments to the magnificent King Trieg? He will come here, you'll see. You still mad at him? I always still in my depths. Especially if I owe them to paltry mortals. You owe me, Karanzan. Thanks to you, my whole arms turned black. Tendrils of this darkness are crawling towards my heart. I ask if you leave King Trieg be. Why do you request King Trieg? Since when do you take an interest in officials? You normally protect the weak and the poor. Considering it my whim, the King Trieg may be boorish and rash, but giving due credit to Stakadvici, there's no better commander for the fortress. Could it be that you don't want Opicum to endure the siege? It will not endure Blanche, but I will grant your wish regardless. Until Opicum falls and blackness consumes your heart. Why do you need Thorn? Need Thorn? What makes you think that? Did I say so? No, I don't really need him. I'm just curious. It's not every day you see someone who can withstand a Reaper. Do you plan to test him yourself? I test his daughter, although she very likely may have a higher purpose. What are you preparing to do in Opicum? What can you arrange in Opicum? It's a clean place, isn't that what it's called? Is it the land swept by the Reaper and were filthy? The Umber from Frisia did not focus on Opicum for no reason, did they? I cannot speak for them, but I can make conjectures. What if they mean to look at dead men here? Or something else. If you don't need me anymore, I'd like to take my leave. You may bow to me and then leave. Suddenly a bell begins to toll over Opicum. The sound is different from what you heard in Albius. It's ragged and rushed, as if the Chinesman is trying to deliver an urgent message. The defenders drop everything they were doing, running errands, toiling to prepare for the siege, and they look up in trepidation. Something must have happened. And if it's not the arrival of the Frisians, as soldiers in the bastions are also staring at the bell tower. You look around for someone who could offer an explanation, but all you see are troubled faces, as ignorant of what is happening as you are. In times of war, the tolling of a bell seldom heralds good news. There is commotion at the southern gate. Several riders enter. They are too few for reinforcements, yet too numerous to be messengers. You strain your eyes and begin to recognize their faces. You brace yourself for the ill news. The first one you recognize is Shek, commander of the guard from Ursus. He leaps from his horse and tends to another rider, who is wearing a fine cape and whose weapons have the glint of finest steel. It's Trig, now king. He shoves Shek aside and dismounts on his own. Their journey must have been perilous. You shake your head. His entourage is far too scant for a king. Definitely not to draw an army. Something must have happened in Hyborg. Who's that white-haired woman among the soldiers? It can't be. It's Alma. What's she doing here? Where'd she come from? Staggering, she walks to the men here while you stand rooted to the spot. Once again, something interrupts your brooding and awakens you from your stupor. Looks like another company has arrived from Opicum. Is this Trig's not in the rear guard catching up with him in the fortress? The riders are wounded and the horse is exhausted. Prince Heiderleg is also here. Hyborg must have fallen, cutting off the road to Berkana. That's the only explanation for such a ragged company coming to Opicum. The fortress will soon be besieged from all sides. You spot an icon among the new arrivals. A warrior from the Isle of Shadows is someone you least expected. You wonder what he could be doing in Opicum. The two groups come together. You watch Stockhead Vici point a finger toward the main bastions as he explains something to King Trig. Deep in conversation with them is Ake. Giant looks around, notices you, and gestures for you to join the discussion. Do I see the infamous book lover? Skip the kneeling. In times like these, kneeling is only good for the scaffold. If you're lucky enough to even make it that far. I've spoken to Ake and Count Vici and learned that you were a scribe in Asana. I've got many questions for you, Hopper. Some are more important than others. I'm delighted to see you, and although I'm quite grateful for you for healing my son, if only it were not under misfortune of him for running off after Thorn again. My men gotta catch him. Where's Thorn? What have you been doing all this time? I'm holding out hope that you do not incur my wrath. Your Majesty, I ask the gods to spare me for your wrath. We followed Thorn's trail to Opicum and anticipated his arrival. I'm sure he'll arrive by the end of the day. I hope he brings Hod with him. Alright, we'll discuss this later. Now, people praise you for your knowledge, so if you truly are as wise as they say, tell me this. What do the Reapers want and why are they aiding Phrygia? Why did they drive us to Opicum and what exactly is so special about this fortress? They're not aiding Phrygia. That does not seem quite accurate. It's the Berkana fortresses the Reapers are taking. Berkana warriors are setting at each other's throats. How does that not count as aiding Phrygia against us in this war? The past has taught us that the Reapers do not aid anyone. They are Berkana's enemy as much as they are Phrygia's. When they crush one, the others rejoice and considers it aid, until it too is destroyed. The secret of Opicum lies in its men here. Is it not dead? Who needs a man here that hasn't healed a single ailing suppliant? Phrygia and the Reapers are unlikely to concern themselves with healing Berkans, Your Majesty. Temple servants know more about the sacred stones than I do, but I doubt that even they would be able to answer your question. But, all in all, they want this place to fall. Then why did they give me an escape route that would lead me here? The Reaper did not just split open Hyborg's defenses, it cleared the road to Opicum. I'm asking myself the same question. I'm no Reaper, Your Majesty, but I suspect he wants you to seek sanctuary in Opicum. You can see why your wisdom is overpraised. You'd better be a finder chronicle than an advisor. We're at a pivotal point in history, and what follows is worth writing down in your annals. Do not miss anything. You can rely on me, Your Majesty. Everything I witness will be recorded, and you'll certainly receive a copy of the scroll for your archives. I hope that our descendants will read this, live to read all this. Now go. I'll let you know if we are needed. Shek. Shek has arrived with the king's entourage. You can ask him what happened in Hyborg. I'm trying to remember what his voice was. Didn't expect to see you here, Hopper. I overheard your conversation with the king. I gather you have some questions for me as well? Hello, Shek. I will likely not be the only one asking questions. Everyone in Opicum is wondering what happened in Hyborg. Hyborg has fallen. It would have endured despite the Gels and Vandals making a corduroy road through the swamp. Had the Reaper not appeared by the main gate. I've not seen him myself, but apparently it was the same one as an Albius. The guards let him in. They then hacked each other to pieces. We were lucky to escape with our lives. Why did you not retreat to Ursus or Jur? Did you not hear what I said about the corduroy road? Thousands of Gels and Vandals used it to cross the old Gabona road and block it off completely. We didn't plan to burrow in Opicum. There was no other choice. It's as if we were driven here. Who haven't they yet called to Opicum? Why are the Northern Umbra doing this? I hope I'm not late with my insights. Did you send for reinforcements? Of course we sent for reinforcements, though I fear no messenger got through. Seen carrier pigeons picked off with arrows just outside Hyborg's towers. We're being rounded up, Shek. If what you're saying is true, there are enemies coming through the marsh road, and they'll close the trap soon enough. Pigeons on one side, Gels and Vandals on the other. The Reapers do not personally fight in wars. Yeah, it's not entirely true. As a boy, I heard a story of a great battle, 700 years ago, I think. Can you imagine 5 Reapers fighting in the Battle of Drowsy Deep? 702 years ago, Shek. That battle was different. It was the final one, or so it seemed at the time. Right now, a single Reaper can cause more than enough trouble. How did Haderlig end up in Hyborg? Same way we ended up in Opicum. The enemy left no other route. Haderlig planned to head east, but he couldn't go anywhere other than Hyborg. Our battle was fought on its walls, and the Prince of Asana could have perished were it not for Lon. I would have never taken Lon for a warrior. Didn't quite have the continents. How are the two monarchs getting along? Bickering about who should lead? No worse than Burkana's 5 kingdoms. There's nothing to bicker about. Trig and Haderlig command their own men. There was no time for arguing when we stormed out. They agree that Count Vichy should remain as his post as commander in Opicum. Where did you meet the white-haired woman? Amma, you say? What makes you think she's here? She keeps to herself. She even has bodyguards. They helped us wipe out the pursuing enemies near Opicum. One of the guards is an icon. Can you believe it? It's the first time I've seen one of them up close. Alma used to have hundreds of icons by her side. Don't look at me like that, I'm just reminiscing. We'll have a chance to talk later. That's true. A besieged fortress is like a ship. Even if you're sick and tired of each other, you cannot get away. But I got other matters to attend to. I hope you find Brand Vichy. He's probably hiding under his father's wing. The bastard took off with the money for the Ursus guards' wages. Unbelievable! And he, a count! I guess anything's possible. I'm sure Stockhead will not turn his son over, even to the king. We'd rather wall him up in a hole to save face. You're right. I won't ask about him. If he shows himself, he'll regret it. Otherwise, he can live wherever he's walled up. He'll be chosen on the money he's stolen. Kind of reminds me of what happens in Soulstorm with the Sligs. Don't take away a Slig's bonuses and OT. They will turn on you. You'll get my reference later. But I think this will be a good chance to call it for here for today. Well, Lo Fang has made it to Opicum. Hopper has gotten the last piece of the puzzle, and now we can talk to Amma. But I think that would be a good time to this would be a good time to stop, mostly because I'm kind of worried about my internet connection right now. Anyway, this is Dragon King Mark, and next time on Let's Play Ash of God's Redemption, we're going to talk to Alma and then see if we can find that final piece of the curse. If we can break it, we might have a chance. Anyway, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified, and I will see all of you next time. Laters. Hopefully next week I'll be able to join, because I'll be honest, with the internet being what it is, I don't know. I also know I'm going to be busy playing Horizon Zero Dawn this week. Later.